Hi, my lovely spectators. Didi here, and welcome to my studio. So, it's been a couple days. I had some stuff going on, and I really miss doing these projects. Been working on some ideas for a craft fair that I'm going to be part of coming in November, and so they weren't necessarily 3 under 30 friendly. And I've been thrifting and going here and there. So I got this book, an atlas. It's not a vintage. It's from 2016, I think it was. It said something like that. We don't have cheapy books in our thrifts that I found, unless it's like a really tiny book. But 450, not so bad for an atlas. It's a pretty decent size. It's about, I would say, 14 by 10 and a half or so. And so what I want to do today is I just want to make some pockets. So for the fair, one of the things that I want to do is I want to offer some junk journaling stuff and bring that to my community. So I want to create some large pockets that I can put ephemera bases, nothing that's been decorated, just bases, maybe made from a masterboard or from some decorative paper or scrapbooking paper. So I was looking at this one, and it's really cute. It's really different than other atlases. It has all these really, I already kind of deconstructed it, has all these pages that have these maps that look like, I don't know, like real life. The pages are a little shiny, but not too much. And I like these as well. And then it has the usual kind of maps that you see, which these are the colorful ones. I did notice that there's a lot of space down the center. And unfortunately, like, this is one map, but it's not part of the same page, because when you break down the signatures, this one was, right? But this is the other side. That's the other side. So, and that happens when you have your books and you have to deal with it. There were some in the front that I want to pull, and then we're just going to make some envelopes. So let me see. This is from 2012. So what, 13 years old? But that's okay. We can grunge it up and do all the niceties. So I love these two pages. This is probably going to go when I do the pockets and stuff like that. But let me pull some sheets. So I want to make a couple of different versions. One that's going to be for the ephemera, but then I also want to offer the reinforcers that I do, that I cut with my silhouette. They're like the ones that Margaret has from the Elizabeth Crafts. This is another really, so this whole front page section has quite a number of these larger ones. So I'm gonna make, let's see, let's just keep pulling these out. Okay, on the other side of this is this is actually not bad. This is actually pretty cool, so I'll probably will use that one as well. I'm not going to use this one because it's too much, the words. This I may use for something else, as well as the table of contents and whatnot. So we're just going to start with these guys. So we have 4, 5, 6. Then I said, oh, these are so cool because, I could do the smaller envelopes, because I can make these into squares and do the smaller envelopes for the reinforcers. So we'll do those as well. This, I loved this. So I have to decide between this or this. This might still win. These might win regardless. Yeah, they're not in the same page. This is, the other side of this. And then we get into the more technical stuff, which is still interesting depending upon how we're using it. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to pull. This is nice too. Obviously, you can see that I tend to gravitate towards having some black in my stuff. So this is a little bit of the prep, because really it's all folding. And so I'm going to create 2 different types of pockets. This is nice. You know what? I'm going to do 3 different types of pockets. And we will see how that goes. If I can do at least one of each kind to show you how it's done. And some of them you already know how to do. The third one might be one that you haven't seen before. So we know that we've got one that we all know, which is the coin pocket kind of envelope type thing. And then we have the one that Margaret showed us with the square rectangle. No, not a rectangle, square. And then there's another one. I think I'm just gonna, you know what, let me get this out the way. Let me just grab these out. So we're gonna use these. That's 1, 2. Put this back over here. 2. Get myself back to where I was at. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, let's see, 10. I would like to have gotten, let's see, 3, so I could do 3 of each, I guess. So I'll make it 9. I'll probably put one of these to the side. I am going to need to have a cutting board because we will need to make some squares, and then of course adhesive. Okay, so I am going to do this as a 3 under 30. So I'm going to do one of each type of pocket, and then depending upon how much more time, we're going to go into it. I'm not going to be decorating them that much because they're going to be part of the craft fair. I'm on the fence as to whether or not I would like to make them like, what do you call it? I know, that's so annoying, isn't it? If I want them to be able to be utilized, so I don't want to necessarily put a lot of stuff on them, but we'll see. Let me see. Okay, there's my 30. I can't see it. What does it matter? It'll ring, right? Yeah. So anyway, whether as I was saying, you know, putting a label on there that says what it is, but then also like, how do you call it? Then they can't use that pocket again unless they cover it themselves. So I have to decide on that. So I'm not going to decorate anything until I've decided what the marketing is going to look like. So I'm going to make 3 coin envelopes, so or pocket envelopes. So we're going to do with these. I think that'll be cool. Then I want to make 2, let's see, and 2, and then let me see what I can add, and then we're gonna go. This is gonna be there, and I need one over there. I need one more over there. Let's just put that one over there. Okay. Let's start by cutting these down to make our squares. Okay. So once I cut, I'm going to start. So let's start this guy. And we're going to take out the trimmer. And we're going to cut this down. So the first thing, whoops. I have the fan on. I don't know if you guys have noticed that or not. And no one's commented on that. And so this is 10 1/4. So I'm going to cut this down to 10, and then I'm going to also cut off the 1/4 because I want to get rid of the raggedy edge. So let's cut this down to 10. We're just going to cut it wherever. So I want to say that, you know, this has been really such a great experience. I've been getting a lot of feedback on my videos, which has been awesome, and a lot of comments here and there. I mean, not a ton. I say a lot because you go from August 2nd when I started posting videos, and I had maybe 3 subscribers to the channel. I was, you know, just getting into the junk journaling of it all and really wanting to have, you know, some content. to joining this collaboration. So these are 10 by 10. I'm going to put them to the side. With these, I'm just going to try to sliver off the part that is, well, it's a little longer than I would have liked it to be. I might have to do this with a scissor. And then these I'm also going to do at 10 by 10. So as I was saying, it's been really like phenomenal about how I had 3 subscribers. I had been trying to put out some content here and there, and trying to figure out how, to jumpstart my channel. And then with this collaboration and all the supporters and everybody who's been checking us out, everyone who's been doing this 3 for 30, like I'm up to like almost 80. I know it sounds ridiculous, but like it's not even been a month, and I find that that's really cool. So yeah, okay, let's get this out of the way. I don't need this. I'm not gonna use a scoreboard to officially score any of this stuff. Okay, I have all my little scrappies, which I will use for something else. Let's trim out these guys. Okay, I need a nice long one, so I have my super duper long one with my little cutting guard, and we're gonna just put this over here, because with the coin envelopes there's no need necessarily to have like a super official size. That rectangle is great, that's fine. They could come out being a rectangle, they could come out being a square, pretty much anything. Let me get a blade. Okay, and we're just gonna go down this. Okay, make sure that it's cut all the way through. It's better to kind of just go over it a couple times versus trying to push down so hard on the first go, because that's, kind of how you might hurt yourself. All right, so my cutting board wasn't long enough. So yeah. So what kinds of projects are you looking for? Because I know that I talked earlier in another video about how I'm going to do what I can. I'm not going to, necessarily decorate here, right? And I was throwing stuff on my Instagram, same name, and kind of going from that. So, what is it that we're looking for? So, in terms of content, right? Do you look for things that are more new, or you just want to see people, craft? It's all about having fun when we're crafting. All right, so let's see here. This is about, like I said, 13. So I want to make it about this wide, so that I could stick what I'm going to call ephemera, like ephemera bases. So let's just see. If it's 13, then I want to make sure that I have at least 6. So let's say we go here. I'm just going to fold right here. I'm going to use this edge. You can't see right now. I'm sorry. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to use this edge down here. This is not the edge that I cut, so I know that this is perfect. And then I'm going to bring this side over here. Okay. And I'm going to make sure that I'm overlapping almost like a 1/4 of an inch. I don't know if you can see. Not a 1/4 of an inch, like a 1/2 inch, right? It's making me a nice roomy pocket. It may be too big. I don't know. Maybe I might wind up using this for something else. Okay. So, yeah. So the pocket is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 inches wide. So, yeah. It's 6 1/4. So that's fine. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we need to have the bottom come up. Right? So this might be a little bit big, but that's okay. We're going to have the bottom come up, and then we're going to have the top come down just a little bit longer than the bottom, so you can, kind of tell that that's the top and that's the bottom. So this is like you know, coin envelope, I guess is what we call it. You can see the cut line. So what I want to do is I want to cut in order to get rid of this rectangle over here, this rectangle, and that rectangle. And then for these, I don't think I'm gonna put any fancy closure. I could try to put one of those what do you call it, policy, those little circle things, but I think I might put an eyelet and just put some string and wrap it around once and call it George. So we shall see. So what I want to do is I want to cut up, right, on a slight angle to the intersection, right? And we know that when we cut straight on the line and then we want to fold things, we might get that bulk in the corner. So we want to get rid of that, okay? I also want to make this have a little bit of a angle, right? And if I'm really concerned about it matching, then I can come over here with this piece and then, you know, do a faint little line to just kind of guide me a little bit, right? So that it matches, especially if it's going to be something that I'm going to be putting on market at the vendor fair. And then I'm going to cut this one. Again, slight angle to the intersection, okay? And then make sure, looks good, right? And we're gonna do similar. We're gonna not cut this one on an angle though. We are gonna cut this straight down. So we know that that's the top. We're gonna cut this one straight down. And then we're going to do that slight angle again. Okay, and then on the other side, slight angle. Okay. So this is what we have right now. So we can put that like that, and then this one comes down. You turn it over and you see these little white edges like over here a little bit, right? I'm just gonna cut it, but I am gonna like round it. I'm gonna use a corner rounder. Okay, so I'm gonna take the corner rounder that I have. Let's see how this paper reacts, because it is kind of, it's not super thin, but it's not like thick. Okay, it did it. It did it. Okay, yeah, this has been like going through a lot of stuff today, so I may need to go through some foil because I've been making a ton of bookmarks as well as one of those go-to like point of sale things. All right, so this is our envelopes. So we're gonna take our glue. Okay, now you have one that goes on the inside and one that goes on the outside, and it overlaps. The one that's on the inside, on the top, right, you're gonna put a bead of glue all down this edge, and then on the one that's gonna lay on it, you're gonna put the bead of glue at the edge on the inside. Okay, and that's going to give you a nice little seal. Okay, don't go too hard on the glue because you don't want it to seep out. Like it seeped out a little bit here on the other side in the pocket, because you don't want to close your pocket off. And then here we're going to just put a bunch of glue to seal up the bottom. Okay. And there you go. We have our first type of envelope, right? If you feel like it's, you know, you want to check, make sure that it can, you know. So, just to show you what it is that, you know, the other two, and then we'll be done for today. Let me show you what I'm planning to put into it. So, I'm going to make some masterboards, right? Or I'm going to get some collages or something like that. That's really cool. I'm printing out some cardstock. So I'm just going to use one of Seven Plaza's, I forgot where it's from, her printouts here. I'm not going to worry about the white either. I'm just showing you a sample of what, maybe you want to give me some feedback. So I'm going to do it on 8.5 by 11 paper. And what I plan to do is I plan to cut this down to 6, right? So it probably would be better with just a, you know, random collage. But let's see. I'm going to cut that down to 6. I'm going to put this off to the side, right? Because it's 8.5 by 11. So this is the 11. Then with the 6 being this way, I'm going to turn this and I'm going to cut. Now this is 8.5, right? So I'm going to cut it to be 4.25. So we're going to have a 6 by 4.25. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this, guys, I'm just going to punch over here where I have some space on the table. Okay, this is what I am making these envelopes for, right? Okay, so we have 2 journaling cards. Now, they fit nicely into this pocket. Okay, the other piece, which is 5, right? 5, I'm going to turn this one and I'm going to cut to make tags. So I'm going to make one tag by cutting it 2.5, another tag cutting at 2.5, and then a third tag cutting at 2.5. Okay, and then I'm going to have this piece here, which is about 1 inch. Okay, and with these guys, I'm going to make them into tags. I'm going to actually cut them and have them already set up. Okay, it doesn't like 3 sheets of paper, but we're going to make it work. So then we'll just do the 1, and then we'll not be so aggressive. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then let's see, is this, yeah, this is a hole punch. No, I don't like this one. So I don't know, I had this in my stash. I don't know where I got it from. Oh, Staples. This one, I feel like this is a really nice one. If you can find this one in Staples, not sponsored, this is perfect. Like I eyeball the center, right? And then I just like drop it to as far as it will go. And to me, this is like the perfect placement of a hole for a tag. So then I will have 3 tags that I can put inside as well. And then with this one, right, you know, waste not, want not. What I'm going to do is, because this one is 5, right, I'm going to also do it at, right, it's 5. Let's see, it's 5? Yeah, it's 5. I'm going to cut it at 2.5. And then what I'm going to do is I have another corner punch thingy. Where'd it go? Oh, here it goes. This one, right? And I like this ticket one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to cut. And this may be a lot of work, but I'm not making a gazillion of these. I don't even know how many I'm going to make. I don't know how I'm going to price it. You know, it's all, you know, who knows? Because, again, I'm not sure of the clientele, the people that are going to be coming. So you can make yourself 2 little labels. So 8.5 by 11 paper, nothing is wasted. Put that in here. So that is one thing that is going to be, you know, for sale. So let's go back to another type of envelope. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I like this guy a lot. I wish I had thought about cutting that off. Well, you know what? We'll just see. Okay, I paused it, but I didn't stop the clock. So what we want to do is, with this one, you're going to need to know where the center is. So that's kind of not long enough. Where's my black ruler? Okay, so with this one, what I want to do is I want to have a pocket that's going to be for, oh, I don't have to worry about it. It just has to get to the corner. So corner to corner, right? I'm going to do a simple little line. And then over here, same thing, corner to corner. And then a little line in here. Okay? And so this is the Seven Margaret one. So we're going to put this one in here. Okay? And, yeah. This one over here to the center. Okay? And then we're going to go and we're going to fold it just with like a little bit, like maybe 1/4 of an inch up. And that's going to be our base, the bottom. And then we're going to turn it, so you know, so it lines up to this over here as well. And then we're going to take this guy and bring it down maybe a little bit bigger over here. Sorry for the glare of the paper. Okay. And then what's, because it is bothering me, I'm just going to snip it away because, you know, that little white line. So now that it's already got the shape and everything, this little piece coming off is not going to really matter. Okay. And so something that we also have to do is take out these little triangles. Now sometimes this will work because if you can line this up onto your marks, right? You see you have your little score marks and they line up to these guys here. It can take out that little piece for you. Okay, it's a little off, it's not perfect, because I'm also trying to look at it from over here where you guys can see it, but then, you know, what's the point if it doesn't come out correct, right? So yeah, so if I line it up nicely, this little notch comes out. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to use that. Now this one doesn't fit because it's a little deeper, and you can tell that because it's all the way to the back and the lines are between. You need the lines to be on there. So 1/4 of an inch or so is a good, you know, estimation. So we're just going to cut them out. So the other thing that I want to kind of sell, like I said, are hole reinforcers that I do. And also I do tabs, like the wheel tab and the standard tab and the bowl clip, the round one with the hole in it. I have those too that I cut out with the silhouette. So I'm going to be trying to sell a bunch of those. So this is going in, this is going up here. I'm going to round this guy. And then I'm also going to round this one over here. Yeah. And so all of those things that I'm mentioning, I'm going to put a bunch of different tags in here. So there may be 3 packages in here. So having a bigger envelope is not going to bother me. It's actually going to work out because I want to supply 3 different things. When it comes to the hole reinforcers, I have, gosh, I don't even remember how many designs I made, but I have a ton. And so I'm going to give a selection of them and, you know, some standard and some standard colors. So I may go the colors of the rainbow. So here's our next one, right? So if, let's see, do I have it to show it to you? I could show it to you so that you know what's going on. Is this them? Let's see. No, it's not. Yeah, I got a lot of little boxes. I want the box crazy. Because, I mean, the vibe, right? The junk journal vibe is like all about. Alright, I can't find it. Anyway, so here's another version of a pocket that I'm going to be able to throw in like 3 baggies full of the different, so the whale tail and so forth, right? So this would be good. I think it might be too big for the other one, but we're going to try and we'll see. So I want to make the third envelope for you. And that third envelope is one that was made by, that I saw made on La Cafe Craft. Patricia, I forgot where she says she learned it from. Okay, well, I'm just going to put a little line here because we need to fold it. Basically, it's an origami, folding. So you need to kind of have that diagonal line here. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to take this side, right, and line it up against here all the way to the point. So a good paper is going to be what's going to be needed. So let me show you, right? You want that to be on that line that you drew. Then you want to take the other side. And you're going to do this one the same. So rolling it a little bit. So cardstock is probably not going to work very well Paper, copy paper would probably work well. This paper is working out nicely. This book paper, right? It's not too thick, it's not too thin. Okay. Okay, so we have this point here. And then we're going to do this again. Okay. Oh my god, I just went blank. How did I go blank? How could that happen? Oh no, 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 this cannot happen. Okay, I know that this goes up there. Okay, right? So I believe this goes up here. And this is gonna get folded over. So yeah, this goes like this. So you make this like pentagon-y thing. Then this gets folded up against here. Okay. Okay. So you pick a distance. You make sure that it's straight with up here. Okay. You can have the line and erase it, or you can make sure that you eyeball it, or you can double check. You know that is running up there. That's fine. Then you're going to fold this on the side here, and then you're going to fold it on the side here. Woo, I was having a moment. Okay, and you're going to fold that up. So one more time, because this is it, the third little envelope for today. So you're going to do this like want to be airplane thing into the center. Fold this up towards the thing, towards the top. So you could use your mat for that too, because you can just make sure that your base is and your picos, these little picos are in the same spot, and then you know that they are folded correctly. Then you fold this in, and you fold this in. Okay, like that. And then this one is going to get folded inside here, right? Inside there. So I'm just I'm not gonna wrestle with it right now. Just wanna get it started because we still have something else to do. But that's gonna go in there to match up to the edge, but it's gonna be inside, right? You're going to open this up, and you're going to push this in. So you're gonna push this in like that. Okay. So again, this was folded. You're going to open this up, and then you're going to flatten it out, and then you're going to push that score in. So now you see that we've kind of squared off, right? This is going inside there, right there. And then you're going to make your over. And there you go. There's the envelope. Okay. There's the envelope. So what she did was that she also then opened it up and cut out these triangles. So I'm going to do that. So this triangle here. And the other triangle on the other side. And again, you have to decide your closure. But this is like origami, so I was playing with it, and I was like, oh, I think this is how you close it. So I don't know if Patricia decided not to do that, or what the case is, but okay, so let's put this bad boy together. One more time. Now that it's already cut, okay, you fold it up, you fold it up. You fold, you make sure it's center level, you fold this up, okay? Then you fold this over, and you fold this over. Okay. You open up each one on the side, and then you push it in. Do the same thing. Open it on the side, and then you push it in. Okay. Now this guy could go inside there. Now if you want to put tape, you can. That's up to you, right? What I noticed was that this also makes a really big pocket. So that's going to be perfect. If you do this, right? I don't have to push it up against me. If you do that, and you get it in there, there's your closure. That's it. You don't even have to put any tip or anything like that. That's your closure. So you get a nice little square one. So it's the same size paper that I used to make this one, but look how much smaller it becomes, because this one is flat, right? You have a good amount of space, but it's flat. This one, right, when you pull this out, when you take this out or you open it, I think I probably will still put the tape. When you take this flap out, so you have to put that tape there. I think that's why, because if you don't put the tape there, it's going to pop up. And so let me do that. So this is where she put the tape. She put a piece of tape here. Where's my tape? Here we go. Okay. Ay. Okay. So she put the tape here. Okay. That bulk there. That's gonna hold that together, and then she brought that over like that. Okay, so actually what happens is that you actually get like more of a bag, right? And then you can go like that. Okay, now if it's getting a little stuck, I think if we just do a little bit of a sliver in, okay, and a little bit of a sliver in here, I think that's gonna fix that issue for us. Okay, let's see. Go like this. Yes, beautiful. Now it goes in nice and smooth. Okay, so those are the 3 pockets that you can make, or envelopes that you can make to use for your journals as well. Or like I'm going to be using them in a craft fair coming up in November. And like I said, I'm putting different things into each one. And, you know, this has a nice amount of space in it. For ephemera, if you're going to put it, you could put it as a pocket, and then they open it, put it as a tuck. That little piece of tape does matter, and putting another piece of tape or glue there would be helpful. So there's this one. There's the one that we learned with Margaret, right? Same thing here. And then also the one that we all pretty much kind of learned and grown, right? Learned and learned. So, and then this is my idea to put in here some of this. I might have to scale this pocket a little bit smaller, because actually it's quite big. So it's 6 across, so I don't need it. The stuff going in here doesn't it hits the bottom, and then it's like this much space left. So yeah, that's a lot. But anyway, so here you go. You have this. So you can put an eyelet here and then some string across. You could put a Velcro dot here like that. Not a problem. With this one, the same thing. You could put a Velcro dot here. There's also that you could cut a little slit on the back over here and then be able to tuck it in. So that's another option. And then you have this one that is origami style and will fold in and be its own enclosure. So those are my 3 little envelopes, my 3 little projects to show you guys today. I know it's a little low key. I think I was also getting over a little bit of that cold, that sickness that I was feeling. And I'm not as congested, but still a little tired. Anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something. Maybe this one was new to you, hopefully. There's my 30 minutes. So I was able to do that. I was thinking I was going to do more, but I mean, you don't need me to keep making the same thing over and over again. I just want to make sure that you had a clear understanding of how to do the 3 different pockets. And all of this can be adjusted. So this was a 10 by 10. This was 10 by 10. 2 different pockets with envelopes rather with very different sizes after being done with a 10 by 10. This was much bigger. This was 13 by 10, right? Because we have the down here and up there, and we created this really gigantic pocket. I know that somebody else who's doing this, I believe, did one with I think she was doing this too, has a hole in hers, and she's putting like transparency film or vellum or something behind it so that you could see into the pocket. That's a really cool idea that you could do as well. So that's something else to throw out there. But yeah, so they're versatile. I've made these up into the size of, using a 4x4, but she came out this big. So it's, as long as it's a square. So this is a square, this is a square, this could be a square, but I think a rectangle paper is better for this one. But you could do it as a square as well. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm sorry I've been gone. I do appreciate everyone who has subscribed up until this point. And if you are really watching the Junk Journal 3 under 30, then by all means, you know, subscribe. I will be continuing my quest to bring you content on that, and then after the fact continue with a bunch of other things that I have in my brain to do. So thank you so much, and until next time, ciao ciao, bye.